Hi everyone, it's week 4 of our Bio 105 class, and this is our first exam week. So hopefully you have been getting my announcements, which I've been sending out via Blackboard, that's been giving you some up-to-date information on what to do and how to prepare for the exam. So for example, I sent a announcement out to all of you guys last week with some information, and I apologize because I had to update the information just slightly. But remember, there are two options for taking the exam. You can either take the exam at home, or you can come here to Harper's campus. If you're going to come here to Harper's campus, all you need to do is come any day this week when the testing center is open. Please go to their website to check for their availability and hours. They do have some evening availability, and they also are open Saturday mornings, so hopefully you can find a time that works for you. All that you'll need if you go to the testing center is you're going to need the course information, so make sure you have the course number, Bio 105, the section, which is W80, and my name is your instructor, Pierce, and then have your Harper ID available so that they can write down that you came in to take the exam. If you're going to be taking the exam at home, I would like you to take a practice test. Now the practice test, I'm sorry for the confusion, there are no actual questions you're answering in the practice test related to the content. The only purpose of the practice test is just to get you used to the testing environment so that you know what it's going to be like when you actually take the first exam. So it's going to have you do a webcam check. It's going to have you do an ID check. It's going to go through the steps that you would take in order to access the exam itself. So again, in order to take the exam at home, you need to have access to a webcam, and you also have to have the ability to download a lockdown browser program onto your computer. So on Blackboard, to do that, right here is the link. So you'll click on, before you access either of the exams, either the practice exam or the lecture exam, you're going to click on Respondus Lockdown Browser, and it's going to take you to the install system. So you will click Install Now and follow the instructions to do so. Once you do that, you're going to open that program, that lockdown browser program. You're going to open it, and you're going to navigate back to Blackboard and sign in. And then once you're signed in and back on our class, then you can go to Course Materials, Exams, and then you can click on either, again, the practice test if you haven't taken that yet, just to check your system, or if you're ready to go ahead and do the lecture exam, you can do that as well. Okay, so remember, in order to access either of these, you have to have Respondus Lockdown Browser downloaded and opened as a file. Okay, so if you are opened as a browser, if you don't do that, it's going to take you to this screen and it's going to ask you for a password. I'm not giving you a password. So what that means is you're not ready yet. You have to do that lockdown browser download before you can answer that, okay? Other than that, just a couple of other really quick reminders this week. So in Module 3, don't forget that we had a, well, I guess not just Module 3, but in all of the first 3 modules, Modules 1, 2, and 3, remember you had Connect assignments and you had those module quizzes. Those are all going to be due this Sunday. So some of you have been really good about staying on top of information, and you have been able to do these assignments and these quizzes as the modules sort of happened, and that's definitely the way that I recommend doing it. Some of you have been a little bit more lax on it, and that's okay too. I understand that part of it is time and having the time to do things, but again, it'll be a lot easier to prepare for the exam if you stay on top of this material. And if you're waiting until the very last minute to do the assignments, and you're waiting for the very last minute to study, it's going to be less likely that you're going to be successful in this class. So I really do recommend setting aside time every single week. Just pick a couple of hours on whatever day or evening or weekend day works for you, and saying, I'm going to take care of all of my assignments for this class on this day. And that really is the most efficient way to get things done, and you'll also much more likely to be successful on these exams that we have coming up. So again, just as a reminder, you guys have until Sunday evening, this Sunday evening, which is November the 10th, until just before midnight to submit those Connect assignments and also those module quizzes. Anything after that is late, and I will not be accepting late assignments for these assignments because I've given you plenty of opportunities in order to get these done. You've had lots and lots of time, and there should be no excuses on why you can't submit those assignments to me. Other assignments I will take late. Your block assignments, if you haven't had a chance to get those done, because those are being checked on a weekly basis, and I'm grading those every single week. If you haven't done those yet, go ahead and do them. I'll still give you credit. You won't get full credit for them, but you'll still get some credit. And don't forget, it's not just your post, it's also commenting on someone else's post. Here on my blog, there's a page called Posting Guidelines, which is just a general reminder about what your posts should be. I'm having a few issues with students not posting long enough blogs, so especially your initial post needs to be about 250 words, and some students aren't quite meeting that requirement, so I just want to make sure that you know that that's expected of you. If your post is significantly less than 250 words, that's when you're going to start to see credit taken off your grade for it. Similarly, with your response post, it should be about 100 words in length. But what I've noticed is some of you are actually responding to 2 other students, which I guess is probably just out of habit because that's what we've done in other classes. And that's fine, because if your posts or your comments are a little smaller and you're commenting twice, I'm giving you credit as if it's one comment. But you actually only have to respond to 1 other student. But the expectation is that response is a nice, detailed, lengthy response. So it would be at least 100 words. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You can either do 2 shorter responses, which is what a lot of you have been doing, or you can do 1 slightly longer response and you'll still get credit either way. So there's some flexibility in that part of it. Other things that I wanted to briefly mention this week, going back here to the announcements page, I gave you some tips on the exam, how to prepare, what the exam looks like. It's mostly multiple choice. There are a few short answer questions. Ways to prepare: use the lecture review slides at the end of the guided lecture notes like a study guide. There's one for every chapter that we've covered, so use those to help you prepare. Another good idea is to take a look at the resources that I have given you in the modules. So, for example, in Module 2, a really good resource is, actually I don't know if I will try to pull it up for you guys. Hold on just a second. Oh, my recorder's in the way. Oh, here it is. I can pull it up now. Just a general model of here's what DNA looks like, and these are all the different parts of DNA. This is something that's helpful and would be very useful for you guys to study, to help you guys prepare for the exam. So I highly recommend when you have the opportunity to look at those resources and to make sure that you understand those things, because I guarantee these are the types of things that you're going to see on the exam this week. As you're preparing, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, anything I can help you with, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to look over your study guides. I'm happy to address anything in particular you want to know in getting ready for this exam. Once you take your exam, please give me about 24 hours to answer the short answer questions, because I have to grade those separately. So your multiple choice questions will be graded automatically, but the short answer questions require me to go through and actually grade them. So give me about 24 hours after you complete your exam, and your updated exam grade will then be available on Blackboard. So good luck, everyone. I know you can do it. Study hard, and let me know if you have any questions.